Okay, so how is this going to happen? We've just received word that phase one is coming from the county and from the governor. So what does that mean for us?
So we can meet with 25 people.
Okay.
So what that opens up is where our life groups have been meeting by Zoom. Some have been meeting in groups, but for the most part by Zoom. We have about 500 or so people that are involved in life groups. Now they can start meeting in homes, and now they can start meeting in gatherings.
In fact, they could not only meet in their life group meeting, they might get together on a weekend and watch the service together and have a fellowship group around that.
So there's some opportunities that are available today that weren't available last week. And then there are people that are on ministry teams that have worked together, served on the campuses, and children and hospitality and we encourage you to get together, pick up the phone, gather and continue to build those relationships. And
I think people want to have a big group meeting, but the reality is if you come for a big weekend service, you don't get to talk to everybody anyway. So we want you to lean into those people you already have some relationship with and deepen that connection that you have, because it's frustrating to always have to be on the phone or Zoom. It's wonderful to be able to see them in person.
Yeah.
So then phase two is going to come.
Well, we have that one last one, fellowship groups.
Oh, yeah, okay.
The fellowship groups are people who are not connected. And this is a great opportunity for people that are not in a group or not on a ministry team, that are kind of out there and that would like to have some relationships. We're going to be working on a plan, probably starting next week, where you can get involved and invited into perhaps a Zoom meeting to start with, and then where you can actually be face-to-face with people. But that is a pretty exciting thing that we want to see happen during the summer. So we're pretty excited about bringing greater number of people together.
And I think this crisis may have encouraged people who have felt uncomfortable being in a group, and now maybe they see the deep value of being in some kind of a group. So this would be a great start. And then what happens when phase two comes? Well,
phase two is a reopening of a campus building. Again, the church is not closed. The church is scattered. The church is meeting in groups all over the county. It's exciting to see what's happening. But in July, we're looking at actually having people come to our campuses.
And the phase two is going to be that we'll be able to meet in groups of up to 50, right?
Yeah, we believe that before we want to open a campus, it really needs to be about 50. And when that happens, we will be meeting in different rooms at the campuses, different venues, different times, where groups of 50 and there will not be live worship or teaching in any of those venues. It will be exactly what you've been receiving in your gathering. As the church is gathered the way it is, that will still happen in the same way, so that there's not this group that says, hey, I get to be in the real thing. We're all in the real thing right now, and we will continue the real thing when we get to our campuses, and we will have family services going on as opposed to the ability to be children's ministries, in their rooms at that point in July. Should that happen, that we are able to have groups of 50 at that point.
So here's one of the questions: why wait? If that comes earlier, that we can meet in groups of 50, why would you wait till July?
Well, there's several reasons. Number one, what we are doing with the streaming and with all the communities and campuses, in a sense that we call it, that are happening all over the county. We are seeing really exciting things happen, and we're getting great feedback. And we've got a great team of people who are serving, and they're putting a lot of time into making sure that we have an awesome opportunity for them to get the truth out. And so we want to say what we're doing is working.
So we don't feel desperate to get out of it.
No.
In fact, I had some lady tell me today that she said, their neighbor has come over and started watching the service with them, and their neighbor had never been to church in a building at all, but she's being in church in a living room. And so that's exciting.
Yeah.
That God is using this, even though it's been difficult.
Right.
And then what else?
Well, and when we only have the number of 25, we really believe that it'll be very, very difficult to have a service that would really be worshipful.
As soon as you got a whole bunch of children involved, or if you have babies and there's nobody to care for them, or maybe you have 27 people and then you're in violation. And
the church that's gathered in your home has a better worship experience than what a group of 25, when we're trying to put all this and manage all the rooms, and I think we're just going to wait until the
We don't think it would be optimal. We'll just say it that way. Possible, but not optimal. And thirdly?
Well, it's going to take time to get our staff and our volunteers all kind of going back, build our teams. It doesn't take long to shut something down, but it takes a little bit of time to rebuild. And we need a clear timeline, and we need a plan and all of that, and it's not just going to be a flip a switch. So we want to make sure that when we open, we're having all the pieces in place that need to be put.
Okay, and then lastly.
Well, the last one is opening on our timeline. So much of what has driven the challenging of leading through this season it's not been my timeline. It's not been our timeline. It's been things have come to us and we've had to adjust. And it's really for leadership and for our staff to know that we have a date ahead, no matter if the campus, if 50 opportunity of 50 people gathering in the mid-June is available, we're still looking at July as a day we would open up, and it's our time to be ready. If, for some reason, we don't have the ability to meet at 50, we will kick that time out. But at this point, 25 or opening on our timeline in July is what we're looking at.